Imagine hearing about a brand new anime where the main character is a chain-smoking cat girl living in an apartment that's completely buried in garbage. She doesn't have a proper job. She's always behind on rent. She spends almost all of her money on cigarettes. And somehow, every episode, she manages to make her life even worse. Just hearing that description, you'd probably think this anime is nothing more than disgusting humor and pure shock value. And judging by a lot of the reactions online, that's exactly what many people thought. But after actually watching it, I found myself asking one simple question. Is Chainsmoker Cat really just a disgusting anime? Or is there actually something more hiding beneath all the trash and cigarette smoke? Well, let's find out. But before we answer that, we first need to talk about what Chainsmoker Cat actually is. At first glance, Chainsmoker Cat looks like one of those anime that makes you wonder, who actually thought this was a good idea? But surprisingly, it's based on a manga by Nyan Factory and follows the everyday life of a cat girl named Yani. And trust me, calling her life a disaster is an understatement. Yani is addicted to cigarettes. She's always broke. She can barely keep a job. She's almost always behind on rent. And instead of cleaning her apartment, she just lets the trash keep piling up. Empty cigarette packs, instant noodle cups, dirty dishes, random junk. At this point, the garbage practically feels like part of the furniture. It's so filthy that even the people who visit her apartment look uncomfortable the moment they walk in. But here's the interesting part. The anime never tries to make Yani look cool. It never asks you to admire her lifestyle. Instead, almost every episode is about the consequences of her bad habits, the ridiculous situations she gets herself into, and the weird people she runs into along the way. So despite the title, Chainsmoker Cat isn't really about a smoking cat. It's about watching one complete train wreck somehow survive another day. And that brings us to the biggest question. If that's what the anime is actually trying to do, why did so many people immediately dislike it? Honestly, it's pretty easy to understand. Chainsmoker Cat makes a terrible first impression, and I mean a really terrible one. The very first thing you see is Yani's apartment. Trash everywhere, dirty dishes, cigarette butts all over the floor. The whole place looks like it hasn't been cleaned in months. Then there's Yani herself. She's lazy, irresponsible, always smoking. And every time life gives her a chance to fix her problems, she somehow ends up making them even worse. The anime also doesn't hold back when it comes to gross-out comedy. Right in the first episode, Yani throws a container filled with dirty cigarette water out of her apartment, only for it to land right on her landlord. When the landlord storms upstairs to confront her, the situation quickly turns awkward in a way that's intentionally crude and uncomfortable. And that's only the beginning. As the series goes on, it keeps leaning into disgusting humor. There are jokes about poor hygiene, bathroom accidents, and moments that make you stop and think, did they really just put that in the anime? One scene even turns a bathroom emergency into the punchline. Another has Yani's cigarette ending up in one of the worst places you could possibly imagine. It's the kind of humor that's either going to make you laugh or make you want to turn the episode off. If you were expecting a wholesome slice-of-life anime or a lighthearted comedy, there's a good chance you'll hate Chainsmoker Cat after just one episode. But here's the part I found hilarious. Even the people working on the anime weren't completely immune to it. According to Yani's voice actress, after spending so much time voicing the character and seeing Yani's unbelievably filthy lifestyle, she actually felt motivated to go home and clean her own bathtub. And honestly, I think that perfectly sums up this anime. So, if Chainsmoker Cat is full of garbage, cigarettes, gross jokes, and one terrible decision after another, why did I still end up enjoying it? But here's where my opinion completely changed. I think the biggest misunderstanding about Chainsmoker Cat is that a lot of people assume it's trying to glorify this kind of lifestyle. But after watching it, I honestly don't think that's the case. If anything, it does the complete opposite. Yani's life isn't cool, it isn't glamorous. She's always broke. She can barely keep a job. Her apartment is a complete mess. And almost every problem she runs into is caused by her own bad decisions. The anime doesn't try to hide any of that. In fact, it puts those consequences right in front of you. And that's why I think Chainsmoker Cat is much smarter than it first appears. It never stops the story to tell you. Smoking is bad. Instead, it simply shows you Yani's life and lets you come to that conclusion yourself. Just look at her. She's trapped in the same routine every single day. She spends money on cigarettes instead of fixing her problems. She ignores the garbage piling up around her. She keeps making the same bad choices over and over again. And because of that, Nothing in her life ever really changes. Honestly, it almost feels like one giant anti-smoking ad. Not because the anime constantly lectures you, but because it quietly shows you what that kind of lifestyle can lead to. And I think that's what makes it feel surprisingly realistic. Not because most people live exactly like Yanni, but because we've all seen people, or maybe even been that person ourselves, who keeps falling into the same unhealthy habits, whether it's addiction, putting things off, wasting money, or simply letting life slowly fall apart. Underneath all the garbage, all the cigarettes, and all the ridiculous comedy, there's actually a pretty honest portrayal of someone who's completely stuck in a cycle they can't seem to escape. And I think that's why the jokes work. You're not laughing because smoking is funny. You're laughing because Yanni somehow finds a way to make the worst possible decision every single time. So after everything, and all the moments that made me question what I was even watching, was Chainsmoker Cat actually worth watching? For me, I'd say yes. But with one very important warning, Chainsmoker Cat definitely isn't for everyone. If you don't like gross-out humor, or you're looking for a cute and wholesome slice-of-life anime, you're probably going to hate this. And honestly, that's completely fair. But if you can get past that rough first impression, you'll find a comedy that knows exactly what it wants to be. It isn't trying to make smoking look cool. It isn't trying to convince you that Yanni is someone you should admire. If anything, it's showing what happens when someone becomes trapped by their own bad habits and somehow turns that mess into comedy. Whether that comedy works for you is something only you can decide. But one thing is for sure, Chainsmoker Cat is much more than that weird anime about a smoking cat. And honestly, that's what surprised me the most. If you've already watched Chainsmoker Cat, I'd love to know what you think. Did you drop it after the first episode, or did it slowly grow on you? Let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts.